Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. We will resume our study of Dakshinamurti Stotram, but this is the last class for Dakshinamurti. Because we'll be completing the 10 verses of the hymn. As you have studied in the previous two classes, it's a direct insight, very insightful hymn into the nature of Dakshinamurti, into the consciousness of God, who is coming as the Guru. So what is his nature like? How does he manifest his divine glory? What is his mind like? All this has been described, isn't it? So you see, this study will help us see what the state of realization is like and what we are aiming at. That is why this hymn is so important. Dakshinamurti is given as the very embodiment of the highest consciousness and coming to the rishis in the form of a guru. So now let's go into the next verse, the 7th one. Please go into the 7th verse. Balyadishvapi, that one. बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानहमिति अन्त इत्यन्तस्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वावस्थास्वपि. See, in all stages of boyhood and others, he who, through the auspicious sign of knowledge, reveals to his devotees his own self, which is persistent in all these stages, the stage of childhood, boyhood, youth and old age, and in the states of waking, dreaming and deep sleep, and in all other conditions, the one who constantly manifests himself inwardly as I, that illumined I. To him, the divine teacher, Sri Dakshinamurti, is this prostration. You compare this with our state. All these stages, Balyadishu, Jagradadishu, how do we perceive ourselves? We perceive ourselves as that entity, See, when you were a baby and a toddler and a teenager, did you have the sphuran of I running across? No. We were totally identified with that stage of life, that body mind. Now we are able to see that there ran a continuity through all these different stages, due to which I was the same baby, I was the same toddler, I was that teenager, today I am this person. Right? We are inferring a continuity in a sense. But in that stage of life, we were identified only with that body and mind. No sense of self, no sense of that aham sphuran. But look at the state of the enlightened, Dakshinamurti. He has the same, he reveals the self through every stage of life. The same I is flashing through every stage of life. And similarly, in all conditions, he is the same. Vyavrittasu anuvartamanam aham iti antasfurantam sada. That aham sense. See, this aham is the aham sphuran. It is not the ego. Are you getting it? This aham of Dakshinamurti is that what we call sphuran. Sphuran is the scintillating flash of awareness, which is perpetually present in the hearts of the enlightened. You will find even in Ramana Maharshi's books, aham sphuran. And every person of enlightenment, one who has an awakened mind, has this sense of being which is constantly flashing in his heart. pure being. So easily he is not identified with the body-mind complex unless he has to pose in any particular situation, isn't it? The avatars also to attain their purpose had to do certain things, but not that inwardly they were attached to the body and mind when they did it. They are ever in that illumined state of consciousness. So this Furan, the scintillation of consciousness has to be experienced. Actually, the samadhi of this path, Jnana Marg, is this samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi, where the aham Sfuran is prominent. It's not the I thought, because nirvikalpa itself means without vikalpa, without vikalpas. Vikalpas are thoughts, visheshana kalpitam. It's a state without thought. So this is not the I thought, this is the I sense, the aham Sfuran, pure awareness filtering out into through the Anandamaya Kosh, into the Manomaya Kosh, which is felt as an effulgence of pure being. That is their experience constantly. And then, Prakati Karoti, he reveals this. To whom? To the Bhajatam, to the devotees, by the sign of knowledge, Chinmudra. The Chinmudra signifies the highest knowledge. And Mudraya Bhadraya, by this very auspicious Mudra, Chinmudra, he is revealing the I that is constantly bursting forth through him as Aham Sfuran. To that divine teacher, Dakshinamurti, I offer my obeisance. So we will understand what state of being that is only when we compare it with our minds, how our minds function, how our sense of identity functions. Many people function like they are many personalities in one, isn't it? All kinds of strange disorders the mind can have. But this is something so different. Please see, the deeper we go into the state of awareness, the more you will understand what Sfuran means, scintillation. This is the sure sign of the dawn of Jnana, real knowledge. Knowledge here does not mean information. Please understand there are different levels of knowledge. The outermost one is information, just ideas. Then comes that, you can say, that kind of knowledge, what is called Vidya, which coordinates a lot of information, which sort of throws a fundamental insight that brings together a whole body of knowledge. It organizes a whole body of knowledge. That is a Vidya. But this level of knowledge, this is something totally different. This is the light of awareness which reflects in the pure mind. Just today I was reading in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Girish is talking to Thakur. And Girish says, Naren says that he cannot be known. He is beyond known and unknown. The Lord cannot be known. Brahman cannot be known. At once Sri Ramakrishna says, no, he can be known. How? Through the pure mind. That is not, actually the words are, that is not altogether right, Sri Ramakrishna says. He can be known, but that knowledge is through the pure mind. The Atman can be, the experience of the Atman can be had through the pure mind. So you see, this Furan is the first sign of true knowledge. This is called Jnana. It is not neither Vidya nor that information level. The deeper you go, the more you will see information is information only. And Vidya is Vidya only. But this Jnana, this knowledge, it not only integrates everything else, every other knowledge, but it goes far deeper because it is the light of awareness that is revealed by this knowledge. Not Vritti Jnana. It is called Swarupa Jnana. The two are different. So in English, we have a general term, knowledge. And this level of knowledge organizes everything about your mind. That's why, the mind will start functioning very harmoniously if sphuran occurs. This is the way to befriend the mind. Yes, but please remember, even for this stage to be attained, the mind should be very pure. Without already the mind having these sanskars, how will it attain to this? After this, whatever remains over as mind is your friend. It will just take orders from you. It will listen to you. So this is the state of Dakshinamurti. That's why he constantly reveals, or you can say unravels, this highest level of knowledge as Aham Sphuran in all states of being, in all conditions. See, Sri Ramakrishna would go into samadhi from such a young age, isn't it? At the age of 7 or 8, in those fields in Kamarpukur, he first felt that he was in the midst of very beautiful nature and paddy fields and all that, and there were a flock of swans were flying across the backdrop of a dark cloud. This created such a magical effect for him. He went into the state of samadhi at that tender age, because it's an awakened consciousness already, isn't it? The least touch of, the most least suggestions of God consciousness would put him into samadhi. He hardly needed an excuse to go into samadhi. Have you seen Sri Ramakrishna's life? I can give you some very wonderful examples of this from Sri Ramakrishna's life, how it worked. See, once somebody closed an umbrella in front of Thakur. I don't know if you have heard of this. His mind went into samadhi immediately. And then why? How? So later he explained that, it suddenly reminded me of the gathering together of the powers of the senses and mind, how it feels. And my mind entered that state. Just closing an umbrella in his presence put him into the state of samadhi. And somebody, if they tore a piece of cloth, it would hurt him, because it was dividing reality into two bits. It appeared like that to him. Again he would go into that state. Ecstatic states he showed in the least suggestions of God consciousness. When he saw Charanamrit, he would start reeling. That was Thakur's state. He didn't have to drink. This Kalipada had come to him. Kalipada was a great drunkard. He was Girish's friend. And seeing Sri Ramakrishna, he felt he had drunk. Okay, so he said, well, can you give me your wine? What you have drunk? And Sri Ramakrishna said, well, my wine will keep you drunk forever. It's so powerful. Then he asked, oh, Vilayati Sharab, is it foreign wine? Can you, British wine? He asked. So then Sri Ramakrishna said, not exactly. It is the name of the mother. Sri Ramakrishna just moved towards him and touched him. And he went into the state of samadhi. He himself started reeling, and then tears rolled down his cheeks. He gave him a taste of his actual state of samadhi. So Sri Ramakrishna could do all this. Somebody mentioning Charanamrit or carrying Charanamrit in front of him would put him into a state of ecstasy. And then somebody standing in the pose of Krishna would put him into that state. Look at his state of mind. The least suggestions of God consciousness. There are so many, anything coming from the temple would remind him of mother. You have seen his room, isn't it? So he would go into samadhi in that room. Like that in various, actually that's why I say you should read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. There you will find how the states of his mind were. So that whatever you call Aham Sphuran or God consciousness, whatever it is come into full bloom already. So constantly he is going into that state and coming out. People would not understand his state, and they would say that once he had gone to a village and they saw him going into samadhi so many times a day that they said, this man dies many times a day and comes back to life. strange man, they said. So like this he was. Um, Really, just studying these lives gives a real picture of what we are studying. Okay, so let's go into the next verse, eighth verse. Yes. Vishvam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhataha shishyacharya tathaiva pitruputradhyatmana bhedataha swapne jagrati vaya esha purusho maya paribhramitaha tasmai shri gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshiṇāmūrtaye. He who is the Purusha, world in Maya, sees the world of cause and effect, diversely related as possessor and possession, father and son, as teacher and taught, both in the state of waking and dreaming. To him, the divine teacher, Sri Dakshinamurti, is this prostration. Vishwam Pashyati Karyakaranataya. See, what we understand as cause and effect relationship in this world, which is, see, what is cause and effect relationship? It's the law of causation. What you are calling laws of this physical world, includes all the laws of your physics, is nothing but cause-effect relationship. Even the metaphysical laws like karma, the law of karma, is cause-effect relationship. They are all the laws of causation. They fall under causation. So he sees through them. In this world, how do we see this cause-effect relationship? As the relationship between possessions and possessor, between the teacher and the taught. Everything is karma, isn't it? What comes into our life, it has karmic. It's an effect of a cause, right? So the possessions which the possessor has, it has come into his life because of certain factors. Yes? See, do you believe in the law of karma? If you are very scientific, you will believe in it. Because without a cause, there is no effect. Whatever comes into our life, it can even be your relationships, your family, your friends, the money you possess, everything that you own, it has come into your life for a certain reason. There's a cause behind it. And if that cause is there, then only this will come. And if the cause was not there, this will not come, or it will come and go away. So you see, all these relationships are due to that causation. And this is how we see it in the world. But he who is the Purusha, Dakshinamurti, see, he is the Supreme Purusha. He is Brahman in that form. But the definition of Ishvara is he also has Maya, but he owns her. That is, he is not under her. See, this is the concept of Ishvara, in Hinduism. I think I demonstrated it to you that day, right? The difference between Jiva and Ishvara is Jiva is under Maya. Maya rules over us. But Ishvara is above Maya. But Maya is there. That is why he appears as Ishvara. Brahman appears as Ishvara. But he sees this world of cause and effect, diversely related as possessor and possession, father and son, teacher, taught, all of this, both in dreaming and waking, as it is. He is not caught up in those relationships as we are, because he sees that everything is cause and effect related. See, this is how Ishvara sees this world. We see it with attachment, isn't it? All of these relationships there can be a huge amount of attachment in this, because we do not see through it. But for the Lord, it's an open book, the whole thing, this whole universe. He sees it is causation playing through. That's why people come into our lives, things come into our lives. So many things work out in particular ways. For anything to happen, a number of factors are involved. Yes? Have you felt it in your life? Yes, we call it fate and destiny and adrishta, they call it. Some factors which I don't see. It's all cause and effect, karmic. So I don't want to go into the theory of karma here because it's very huge. You can see it in the other videos, but everything is karmically related. So that's why Dakshinamurti sees it like that all these relationships are born of cause and effect. See, if you see it like that, you come to a state of deep balance within yourself. Everything is due to a purpose and it has a purpose. So then I will treat everything in the proper manner. When something negative comes into my life, I will not, it will not cause that level of agony in me that I try to destroy my life. I see it that it is due to a certain cause and the cause has to be worked upon, removed. So, like that, that is the vision of Dakshinamurti, it is being said. He has understood the cause behind all effects. This is how he sees the world of effect. The world is an effect. There are invisible causes. So, this is how Dakshinamurti sees the world. So, a little opening into the heart of reality is required for this to happen. Yes, otherwise, we'll get caught up in Maya. Only one who is above Maya can see the causes behind effects. As Dakshinamurti is saying. So, a little bit of inner penetration, that is why it is required for us to overcome the effects of Maya. Otherwise, we will not see the connections. So, there will be only revolt against certain circumstances, certain people. See, this is the cause for depression, isn't it? A whole lot of negativity is in our mind because I don't see the causes. Why should this happen? So you see, that is why they are giving you the picture of Dakshinamurti's position with regard to all this. We are seeing the world of multiplicity. From the enlightened one is seeing the same world with a sense of unity. Where I see diversity, he sees unity. Where I see effect, he sees the cause. I see the ornaments, he sees the gold. And he enjoys the gold also. Isn't it? That's why deeper knowledge is required. The purpose of human life is only one thing. What Sri Ramakrishna used to say? The realization of God. And then live in the world enjoying it as God, a manifestation of God. Tumi aam khete escho, aam kheye jao, Thakur used to say. You have come to the world to eat mangoes. Don't spend your time counting the number of trees and branches and twigs and leaves. And revel in the consciousness of God and you will genuinely enjoy the world. So this is what the 8th verse is trying to tell us. Now we go into the 9th verse of Dakshinamurti. Bhurambhamsyanalo nilo ambaramahar natho himamshu puman itya bhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam yasmat parasmad vibho tasmai shri gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshiṇāmūrtaye. Bhu. See, the eightfold forms, manifestations are the earth, water, fire, air, ether, sun, moon, and the jiva. And he who manifests himself as this universe of the movable and the immovable objects, and besides which the supreme all-pervading Lord, there exists nothing. To those who reflect well, to him who sees this, the divine teacher Sri Dakshinamurti is this prostration. So his own eightfold form is all this Prakriti. See, this is Vedanta. Not that there are two realities, Purusha and Prakriti. This is nothing but his manifestation. Yes, the highest Advaita Vedanta is non-dual. Because it is the manifestation of the same thing. All of this, you see, Bhu, earth, Ambhasi, water, Anala, fire, Anila, air, Ambaram, space, Aharnatha is sun, Himamshu is moon, Puman, which is the human being, the Jiva. All of this, through all this charatmakam, the movable and the immovable, he alone shines. And it is his eightfold manifestation, existing in different forms under different names. For those who reflect well, they will find him alone in all this. It reminds me of again Thakur's state, Once M enters Sri Ramakrishna's room in Dakshineshwar, and this is so thrilling, my God, this incident. And the master is sitting on the smaller cot and immersed in samadhi. So there's such an effulgence on his face. He's radiating light, as it were. And then the teardrop falls from his eyes. He's in such bliss. And then gradually he opens his eyes. And M is sitting there and staring at his face. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, "Do you know what I see?" Now observe this carefully. He's just come out of samadhi. He says, "Do you know what I see? I see that it is he alone who has become all this. He alone has become all this. The world is soaked in Brahman. Like the city soaked in rain, he gives this upama, analogy. Jagat Brahme joriye ache. The universe is soaked in Brahman." Then he gives another beautiful upama, analogy. He says, "You know how it is? Imagine a wax garden," he says, "where everything is made of wax. Everything is made only of wax. The trees are made of wax, the leaves are made of wax, the fruit is wax. Everything is only one substance." Then he says, this universe is like that. And the wax is Brahman, divine consciousness. So all these people around here, this temple, these buildings, these trees, the fruit on the trees, it's all him. And long time he goes on talking like this, It's all Brahman manifested as all this. The consciousness in you is verily him. Ishvara sarvabhutanam riddesherjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. Bhagavad Gita says, the Lord, where is he present? He is in the heart of all human beings. Riddesherjuna tishtati. Where you have locked him up in a temple and you think he's only there. You have to go there to find him. He is the consciousness shining in our hearts. Bhagavad Gita is telling us this. See, the same vision they used to have. So Ishvara is verily where your consciousness is. To realize him, all you have to do is turn inward. The temple is a place which will help you turn inward, but temple is not a place where he is only there. Not that kind of a place. In Hinduism, this is how we see it. He is there everywhere. He is everything. That's why, our sense of ego, you will never find it. If you ask yourself seriously, who am I? You will never find that I, because other than consciousness, nothing exists. Your identity, you see how fallacious it is. Today it is there, tomorrow it will change. Day after tomorrow you will be somebody else. The mind is constantly changing. Everything about you is changing. So there is no fixed identity for anyone. There is no fixed ego in anyone. Thakur used to say it's like, you peel an onion. Ultimately, what remains? Nothing will remain. If you try to find out what the ego is about, nothing, you will come to nothing. That's why if you try to find out what the self is about, you will come to the knowledge of Brahman. The ego has no real existence. It's like a shadow. But this aham sphuran, pure being in you, is ever flashing as awareness, consciousness. So just go and dive into this and see the rest. See, if you touch a deeper level of awareness, you will find a unity in existence. This is natural result of this knowledge. So then seeing another jiva only as through his persona, this will go. Isn't this a marvelous state to be in? Think about it. All our emotions and reactions and responses are only because I see the mind and I don't like it. Now you are no more seeing the mind. When you touch the self, your own self, you no more see the mind of people. You will see the self. Those who think they are the body are going to see only the body. Those who think they are the mind will see minds. Those who see only their self will see only the self in others. These are the equations of spiritual life. So if I want to turn my drishti into this kind of a perception, I must first make the changes within myself. The world will respond accordingly. This is a very high perception, I'm telling you, a very high vision, but this is the goal of human evolution. The goal is not to sit and judge others according to your own perceptions. Isn't it? This is the essence of spiritual life. That's why they say spiritual life is removed from this world. Yes, but it is meant for, it is meant for your higher evolution. It is not meant for any kind of a superiority in this world. It is meant for your higher, for your march towards the infinite. That is the purpose of spiritual life. So don't conclude this is an impractical ideal. What will I do with this ideal? The amount of peace and inner tranquility that comes when you have this kind of a perception. Sri Ramakrishna's life, the life of these masters will show you that. When we say, I want peace, I want that blessedness, then go into the life and see. This kind of perception alone will bring that level of contentment within. So everything is seen as Brahman in this state, because all of this, as they are showing us, is nothing but a manifestation of Brahman. This is how Dakshinamurti sees it. This is his perception. A unitary sense of consciousness. Now, I want to point out one important fact here. See, the microcosm and the macrocosm are built on the same plan. I don't know if this is making sense to you. What is in your system, a bigger manifestation or version of that is what is in the outside universe. So now if I want to see the divine in all beings, I really want to enjoy life fully without any negativity in myself, I must first work on the microcosm. There is no other way. Can you correct others? Tell me. Can you change the mentality of other people? No, I can only change my mind. I want to see everything green. I don't have to paint everything green. I have to wear green glasses. Then you will see everything green. So change the color of your mind. That is the most essential thing. That is why you see this is all a very high philosophy, but this is the goal of human life. And the way to it is through the microcosm. I make the essential changes within myself. Gandhiji would say this, be the change that you want to see. And slowly you will start seeing the change. See, this same world, some see it as beautiful, some see it as evil, some see it as good, some see it as bad, and the realized see it as heaven itself, God itself. What's the difference? Difference lies in the individual perception. How you train your mind, how you befriend your mind will decide what you see. There's a very beautiful Buddhist story, it is so nice. It goes like this. One man is confiding to his friend, my neighbor's son, I suddenly realized he's a thief. Yes, he comes from such a good family, but I saw his thieving eyes. I found him groping about silently amidst things where he should not be. I saw him mumbling things to himself. I saw the fear and suspicion in his eyes. And I saw him stretching out to his hands to where they should not go. He's abnormal, he's a thief. Then I retired in great pain. The next day, the weather was so beautiful, the morning was so beautiful, and I had a beautiful meditation. Suddenly I came out of my room and I saw this boy full of divine light. I saw his eyes were divine. I saw no sign of fear and suspicion in his eyes. I saw his hands were perfectly normal, not trying to pick up things of others. I saw him striding along in full confidence as a thief never would. And I realized my meditation changed my sight, my perception. His own suspicion he superimposed on that boy. So you see, you change the color of your mind, you will see the world differently. That is the whole point. Now we will go into the last verse. This is a phalas stuti, which means the fruit of this realization is what? It's about that. Sarvatmatvamiti sfutikritamidam yasmadamushminstave tenasya shravanat tadarthamananat dhyanācha sankirtanāt sarvatmatvamahavibhuti sahitam syādishvaratvam svataha siddhyetat punarashtadha parinatam Chaishvaryamavyahatam. The knowledge of all this is verily the Atman, Sarvatmatvam, what is called, has been explained in this hymn. And so by hearing it, by reflecting and meditating upon its meaning, and by reciting it, one will attain that divine state, endowed with the glory of all selfhood, along with the permanent eightfold holy powers of Godhood. Sarvatmatvam is the knowledge that all this is verily the Atman. See, this is not poetry or some kind of a fanciful vision. This is the fact of this world of manifestation. In the eyes of the jñāni, this is how he sees it. All this is verily Atman. Iti sfutikritam. This has been explained, or sfutikritam means it has come out forcefully through language. Yasmad amushmin stave. Through this very hymn. Tena asya shravanat tadarthamananat. So by hearing about it from a teacher and by reflecting upon it, mananat, dhyanat cha sankirtanat, and by meditating upon it and praising it, eulogizing this knowledge, sarvatmatvam mahavibhuti sahitam, which means the knowledge of the self, this unitary knowledge of pure being, will enter into one's heart along with all the vibhutis. See, there are many vibhutis which come due to the practice of yoga. You may have heard of it. There are 8 vibhutis actually. Ashtadha is mentioned here. Eightfold yogic powers can come into a person. in his journey towards the self. So all this is the gain that will be manifested in one who is able to attain to this knowledge. But remember, don't go out looking for vibhutis. Sri Ramakrishna was very stern about this, isn't it? Hmm? Where as you go on meditating, you will really develop very, very acute powers of understanding, of communication, of seeing through other minds. All this will naturally come. And even physical powers can come, like passing through a wall. Yes, but we will not pay any attention to anything of this. Anima, Garima, you might have heard of all these powers, yogic powers. No attention should be paid to this because they will only deflect you from the goal of self-knowledge. So Sri Ramakrishna was adamant about this. So absolutely we will not even go to discuss what all this is about, the vibhutis, but the full glorious manifestation of selfhood, or what is this divine knowledge of Brahman, this will be fully manifested through one who reflects on this hymn, meditates on it, praises it, is able to assimilate it. He will get this knowledge of Brahman. So that's the guarantee, because the highest Advaita Vedanta has come out here, isn't it? See, Shankaracharya's hymns, illumined mind, is giving out what it feels about Dakshinamurti. So naturally, if you meditate on that mind, you will be put into his state. That's why these hymns are so powerful. See, when Sri Ramakrishna used to be in Samadhi, sometimes his eyes would be open, slightly open. Now, he is gone somewhere. Okay, he is not there at all in that system. But his eyes are open. Anybody who looked into his eyes would feel something of his state. They would feel the divine shining there. They would get divinized. This is what happens. If you come into touch with a luminous mind, your own mind will turn luminous. This Sangha Shakti. So that is why the importance of these hymns. They have left, they are footprints of their realizations. They have left it behind. Now you can follow in their footsteps just through these works. So that is why this hymn is very powerful. It is meant to be Shravanat, Mananat, Dhyanat, Sankirtanat. All this has to be done on this hymn. Just now you have just heard of it, but keep it with you. We have had 3 classes on this. The more the reflection, see, reflection works something like, I don't know how many of you have studied relativity physics. Yes, if you have studied it, you will know, first time you study it, it will appear so strange. Second time you study it, it will make more sense. Third time, you are almost convinced. Fourth time, that is the truth. Then classical physics is put aside, relativity physics is the truth. This is what Manan does. First time self-knowledge, some fantastic concept of some seer. So gradually you start understanding, no, this has a lot of meaning. Then you come to a meditative understanding of it. No, this is the thing. Finally, you know that they are talking of the highest truth of human life. We are the ones who are deluded. See, a drunkard always thinks the normal people are the crazy ones, isn't it? And if he finds another drunkard, Thakur used to say this, ganja kor ke bhalovashe. If he finds another drunkard, he will say, oh, you alone are my buddy. These are all crazy people. This is our state. When you are in the same state of delusion, you have friends in delusion. But only one who has awakened sees things rightly. So some amount of awakening is what is being asked for through all these hymns. Finally, that Falastuti will tell you this awakening should happen as a result of that. Then when you transform your consciousness, you switch your perceptions automatically. Nothing else has to be done. Why is the world the way it is? Actually, because you are the way you are. You transform your consciousness, you will see things differently. Hmm? See, there are times in life when we will be forced to do this if we don't do it willingly today. Spiritual growth is like that, you know. Those who are not sensitive to spiritual growth, which means not a sensitive mind, life will force you to think in this wise. The nature of life is like that. It is meant to teach us, isn't it? Life is a big teacher. So it takes us through circumstances which will show us the importance of growing spiritually. Otherwise, you can't handle certain situations in life. They will throw you apart, they'll pull you apart. So that is why the spiritual knowledge is something very, very important, even to keep good balance and mental peace in life. And of course, this realization is the highest. That's why it is considered the goal of human life, isn't it? Can anything else be the goal? Think and see. Anything else can be the goal? Why not? Nothing can promise absolute happiness, isn't it? Relative little happiness it can. Nothing can promise absolute freedom either. So that's why then this is the goal. The promise of absolute happiness and freedom is here. So with this, we will end Dakshinamurti Stotram. Let's take up your questions on this. Kusumdi told me a very important point just before this class. See, you are all initiated into a particular method of sadhana. I'm highlighting it again because I said it in the morning class. Please remember, whatever method you have initiated in is your method of sadhana. It is not different from what we are discussing, because the consciousness of God, whom you are worshipping through your japa, whose name you are taking, is verily the consciousness of Brahman. So don't think, oh, this I'm going to do separately, that I'm going to do separately. Through that only you will come to this. Don't worry about it. This is the fact. So I'm highlighting this again and again because many devotees make this mistake. Oh, I am doing japa, but the actual thing is, this kind of investigation and inquiry. Advaita Vedanta is the actual thing. The prakriya will take you here automatically, you don't worry. See, nobody starts with the highest. You must begin from where you are. Just now I think I am the jiva, so I have to learn to relate with Ishvara. Finally, I will enter into his consciousness, which is nothing but Brahman. So there's a method to everything. Don't desert the method and try to just do all this inquiry by yourself. The method is very important. Keep following the method, it will take you into this automatically. There's no contradiction between Dvaita and Advaita, actually speaking. Dvaita is a frame of mind. You transcend it gradually and come to Advaita automatically. No force is required. Okay. Any questions?
Would you elaborate on cause and effect, that concept, that law of cause and effect? How you said that the one who is rooted in Brahman, he sees only the cause in the effect. Can you give an example?
Yes. See, the example is right there in the hymn. The relationship between, say, a father and son. How do we say it? Oh, he's my son. He's my son. He's come into my life. He's my responsibility. Do you know your son is born out of your karma? Your son has come into your life because there is a karmic relationship with that jiva. The cause is that particular karma. The effect is the manifestation of a child in your house. So if I don't see that cause, tomorrow a sense of possession will come over the son. He's come out of this body, he's mine. But if I see that cause, I will understand a number of forces have worked for this to happen, to come into my life. And so I will be more accepting of the way the sun is. Isn't it? See, there are many people who don't understand the entire family is nothing but a karmic tangle. We come into a particular family only because, uh, you know, you have asked for it in a way. Your karma has made it happen. So, because it is a karmic tangle, it has to be worked out only through karma.
If our perception is on the cause, if we understand this concept,
Yes.
but if we don't, we can also destroy our life. Yeah?
Exactly. When you see only the effect and you are not bothered about the causes, you create problems. And most people are unable to see the causes. But at least some idea of karma should be there. See, when people come into our lives, you should know it's for a purpose. Even the family is meant for the evolution of the soul. The society is meant for the evolution of the soul. Because the acme of human evolution is this, the luminous effulgent mind which has touched the highest truth. So everything is a means towards that. So if I see properly the cause effect relationship, I will behave with people like that accordingly. Otherwise, a strong sense of attachment or repulsion or all kinds of things can happen. That's why you see we never recommend playing with relationships and all that, isn't it? Which is so popular in modern society. That is something you're playing with your karmic forces. If there is no commitment, you don't know the terrible amount of negative karma you will create. One student actually asked me this. It was such a shock for me. He asked me, IIT student, he said, Mataji, I don't believe in family. I don't believe in family and I will not make a family. People are there, you just you partner with anybody, but I don't believe in family. I got so shocked. I told him it would have been nice if your father had decided that. Where would you be then? So you want the next generation to suffer that? What do you mean by I don't believe in family? Family is the necessary for the sanity of your own mind. Otherwise, you'll be flirting with just anybody all your life. So we must have all these. See, family, I told you, that's why it's karmic, the entire thing. You can create a lot of positivity out of it, or you can destroy your life with it also. When there are no commitments, you tend to generate huge negative karma, which will destroy you only, first of all. And then the other people also involved. But if you take family as a way of growing, then it will work for you. That's why commitment should be absolute. Then only it's a family. And all our laws should be framed understanding this basic psychology. Otherwise, in the name of freedom, youngsters will do anything.
One of my patients married 7 times. And every time she married, she chose the same type of husband. The same karmic, that she left one because of the problem. When she went to the second marriage, same problem because she's choosing the same type of a person.
So pathetic.
So what is this type of that you don't want commitment, you want freedom, and then you think that I'm choosing second time the right one, the better one, to get rid of the earlier problem, and then second time is the same repetition, third time same repetition, same thing.
The Guinness Book of World Record holds the highest number of marriages by a man 23 times and his 23rd wife 21 times. She has married 21 times and this guy has married 23 times. look at the what kind of mind it must be. Playing with relationships. So this is something deadly for human society and for the individual.
So for the effects, can you find out the right cause?
You can find out the causes if through the power of meditation. As you deepen awareness, you will see clearly the causes. Otherwise, if there's no meditation in life, the mind responds only according to that situation. Either responds or reacts only according to the person in front of you. But a mind which is meditative will not react, first of all, but will try to see the cause for what is happening. Lot of balance comes into life and understanding with meditation. Yes?
Would it be fair to say that we all see the effects naturally? Intelligent people can see causes of effects, but illumined minds see the causes of the causes of the causes.
Right. Yes, that's the fact. They will see the supreme cause for all this. So, shall we end it here? Time is up. Yes? Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.